Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another Pokemon Go video. And this is my basically introduction, my top 10 introductory tips to playing Pokemon Go. If you are an experienced veteran of the game, this may be incredibly boring to you. But let's go ahead and take a look. So the first thing is, all the Pokemon in the game are not the same. So you go ahead and you catch a Pokemon. Let's say you catch a Bellsprout. And you may be low level, and you may catch a really bad level 44 or CP 44 Bellsprout, and you may be thinking it's my only Bellsprout. Oh, that's pretty good. But know that is not a good Bellsprout. I don't even have a good Bellsprout. I have a 177 Bellsprout. So basically, Pokemon have this incredibly varied level which they can be, and when you are new, you're and low level. All of yours are going to be terrible. It's not your fault. It's just how it works when you are new to the game. Alright, so closely associated with that is tip number 2. Don't try to improve these terrible Pokemon. You have a limited amount of resources. So to level these up, you need to spend candy. So for this Clefairy, it would cost just one candy and 800 Stardust to power up. But we don't need to waste our valuable resources on terrible Pokemon. Just be patient, wait till you get a higher level. And it costs quite a bit of candy to evolve them, so you really want to wait on them. I have an exception to that rule that I'll talk about in the next video, but essentially tip number 2, be patient and wait to level up. Alright, tip number 3, level up as fast as you can. The best ways to get levels are to do things like go around in a really busy area and just get Pokemon stops over and over and over. I went down to the Santa Monica Promenade, and like every 2 steps it was a Pokestop. That is just oodles of experience as you're spinning these Pokestops. Catching Pokemon gives you 100, so even if it's not a Pokemon you need, just continually catching over and over and over Pokemon. Go to a populated area, get them over and over. This is a great way to level up as fast as you can. And of course, if you can find new Pokemon, that's 500. So that's phenomenal. So go ahead and try to get these leveled up as fast as you can yourself, because the way this game works is the Pokemon you get are better based on your level, right? So if you're a low level, you're going to get bad Pokemon. As you get better, you're starting to get better Pokemon. I'm only level 13, and I still am not finding all that great of Pokemon. So I'm looking forward to being about like 20 when you really start to hit some good ones. Okay, next tip. Training in gyms is incredibly confusing, and it's probably not what you think it would be. Like when I first thought about training in gyms, I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to go to this gym. I'm going to make my Pokemon awesome. No, that's not what you do. You're not training up your Pokemon. What you're doing is essentially either trying to take an opponent's gym, if you're on another color as them, and if you do, you get a big pile of experience points. Remember, leveling up fast. And if it is your same gym, if you can go in and knock out one of the Pokemon, you will give your gym a higher level. So if you look at this gym, it has 6,878 out of 8,000 experience. If I can go in here, I'm on Team Blue. If I can go in here, actually this is a red gym. So if it were a blue gym, or if I was on Team Red, essentially if I was on the same, it would go ahead and buff that gym. So you're either trying to knock down the gym or buff the gym. And then either way, if it gains a level, you can stick one of your Pokemon in there to guard it. And if you end up knocking your opponent out of a gym, so for instance, this red gym would be incredibly difficult for me to knock my opponents out of it. It has 6,000 experience, so I would have to battle and win repeatedly to knock down that experience. So that's the nuts and bolts of how gyms work, and I'll talk about that more in a later video. All right, next thing. Eggs. These things are incredibly important. When I first got eggs, I was kind of like, oh, that's neat. I got an egg. What exactly do I do with an egg? What you do with eggs is you click on them, and you click Start Incubation, and you pick one of your incubators that are empty, and then you walk the amount of kilometers it says. So these are 5-kilometer eggs. This is related to another tip. Driving will not help this. You can't just hop in your car and be like, do, driving 5 kilometers. No, that's not going to work, because Pokemon Go is smarter than that. It wants you to walk. So you can trick your Pokemon Go and drive really slow, but it might just be better to go ahead and walk. I think it's something like Once you go over 10 miles per hour, it doesn't count it anymore. But the Pokemon you can get out of the eggs are really good. My best Pokemon that I have came out of an egg, actually. Let's go ahead and sort by power, combat power. Yes, he's still the best I have, Electabuzz. So this dude came out of an egg. He's pretty awesome. I actually dumped some candy into him. It's debatable whether I should have just waited till I got a better Pokemon when I was higher level. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But now I do have a Pokemon I'm able to take some low-level gyms with. Alright, so get those eggs taken care of. And again, the lower the kilometers, the worse it's going to be. So this Electabuzz was a 10-kilometer egg. Alright, here's a really dumb tip that I did not know, so I'm going to bestow this upon you. If you go to a Pokestop, as I did like the first day I had this game, the stuff doesn't just come to you. First of all, you have to be very close to it, like practically on top of it. But then the way you get it is spin it. There's nothing in the game that I saw that tells you to spin the Pokestop, which is a bit baffling, but that's how you get your stuff. You're going to get your balls, you get all kinds of stuff. Next tip, Pokestops are awesome. They give you Pokeballs, potions, revives, all kinds of stuff. Perhaps most importantly, EXP. So you want to stop at all the Pokestops that you can. This is one of the keys. Go to a populated area, just Pokestop, Pokestop, Pokestop. Alright. In order to have the game function, this is the next tip, it's really annoying. It must be open, and your phone must be unlocked. This is incredibly annoying. Who wants to just, like, stick their phone in their pocket with their Pokemon app going, especially with how it chews through batteries? If you've played this, you know. I'm wondering if the company that makes this actually makes the most popular phone battery or something, and that's why the game sucks so much juice. But that's another story. And essentially what I like to do is put it in my pocket with a Pokédex open. My theory is if the Pokédex is open and my phone accidentally clicks something, it's going to be looking at Pokemon, not selling my Electabuzz when I'm not looking. The next tip is you're going to have to sell your Pokemon. Don't get too attached to them all. I know 250 sounds like a ton. It's really not. You're going to have to sell them. I'll show you right now how you do that. I'll go into this Rattata who's terrible. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can see transfer comes up. You click transfer. You hit yes. You send him off to Professor Oak. He sends you a candy to thank you for your service. And there you go. You've sold your Pokeball. Your Pokemon. You got a candy. Everyone wins. Don't get too attached. Don't be too sad when you have to sell your Pokemon. And the last tip, again, I'll revisit this. Driving doesn't allow anything to happen in this game. You're going to see your avatar start running. When she's running, you're really not going to be able to do much. You might get super lucky if you time it just amazingly and, like, click Pokestop and spin at the exact right time. Very unlikely. You're not going to be able to catch Pokemon. It's kind of frustrating. We went on a long trip, and I was like, yes, I'm going to catch all kinds of Pokemon. And then I was like, oh, we're not actually going to see any Pokemon because my avatar is running and we're driving at high speed. It makes sense that you can't do it, but just know that like if you're on a highway, you're probably not going to be able to do anything with your Pokemon app. So those are some introductory tips for you. I hope you find them useful, and I'll be back later in the week with some more advanced tips, such as some tricks on how to leveling really quick, some other more advanced aspects of the Pokemon themselves. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time on Tinygrams Games.